at the Tivoli reunion.
Whoa, where?
Wow.
Was
Well,
he? I didn't see him in
was-
pictures.
He was on the. I didn't see him in any of the pictures, but he was on the I did attend list, or I am attending
Oh.
list.
So he signed in and left, is what
Well,
you're saying.
He signed in and left. Yeah. He
And-
wanted the credit, but he didn't want to do the work.
Well, he said
So
on,
not
he said on the
appearing on
internet
this
that he was going.
podcast.
It doesn't matter because we're back. It's been a month. It's Geeks with
has.
Kids.
Has it been a fucking month?
Yeah, because it was
It has.
halfway
Yeah,
through
Jesus.
the Acolyte was the last time we got together,
Yeah.
and
Been
we're
like
here.
2 months
Yeah.
for me. I haven't been
Yeah.
on since Godzilla.
Yeah, and
Well,
I
that
still,
was just before the Acolyte.
yeah, I think that was just one episode
Yeah.
before. We do every 2
Don't
weeks.
even remember the last one
Yeah.
I was on.
It was the Godzilla
Been a
one.
while. Eric had a thing.
I had a thing. I'm back. A little bit cooler.
He got
Not
better.
really. I got better. I can talk.
We turned
which
him
is
into a
nice.
newt.
I love it.
You're cool.
He's not dead yet.
I got better. Yeah. So we're here. We're going to talk about
Happy.
the 4th season of The Boys because it's going to be 2 years before we get the 5th season of The
God,
Boys.
God damn it.
But we're gonna get another season of Gen V in
Gen
the
V
meantime, right?
next year. Yeah.
It's a great show.
Yeah,
so...
yeah, you'll get Gen V. Yeah, I
And
got
all-
some friends working on that. It's
We just need more puppets. Mark, we need more puppets.
guarantee you they're coming.
I
I
know.
can guarantee
Well, they
you
had
that
it. They
are
had it in
coming.
this. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, so like we do every time, we're gonna talk about. We're also gonna talk about the Acolyte a little bit because it did end, and the ending's sort of important. I'm gonna say, yeah. But let's do a really quick. What's good, Hawk? What's good?
Oh my gosh, what is good? I don't really know. I've been in kind of a slump recently as far as what to watch.
You went on a
Uh,
trip. That was good.
I did. I went on a really good trip.
Ooh.
And I went for a week to Ireland. Kind of a family
Yay.
affair. Yeah. We after my mom passed
love
away
Ireland.
last year, we decided to bring her ashes back home and had them interred with the rest of her family. But it was a great week. It's a beautiful country. We're half kind of shopping for real estate over there.
I
now 'cause
mean, You can live in a castle for the price of a bungalow here.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. No, fuck that. I'll just live in like my mom's hometown because it was gorgeous. Seaside port, like this little shopping district, and you're 20 minutes away from like a city. When we were heading out to Kilkeel, we almost ran over a little baby lamb that had got out of his pen. It's that surrounded by the
Oh,
rural
delicious.
area. Yeah,
I was gonna say that too. Delicious. That was
Nice.
great.
so that was enjoyable. I don't really have a recommendation of what's good right now. Besides like all the other shows that we've been watching. I have been watching House of the Dragon. I have actually been enjoying season 2 quite a bit.
I gotta catch up on that.
Yeah.
I
Anybody
don't know
else?
why. I just watched the Screen Crush breakdowns for House of the Dragon instead of
That's
actually
it?
watching the show. I don't know why I do it, but I do.
I watched the first episode and a little bit of the second episode, but the end of the first episode, what happened? I was just
Uh-huh.
like, well, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from this. I forgot it happened in the book, so I read the book. a long
Yeah.
time ago.
It's like, yep, this is Game of Thrones.
It's worse when you hear it and see it. Ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna go down to Brent. Brent, what's good? Is it Nine Soul?
Got the new digs.
Yeah.
We're officially moved in, all settled in, and everything like that. I got a lot more privacy, a lot more seclusion here. It's nice. I get more freedom to do shit. So
You got a stove, so you can
uh,
just leave and cook something and come back.
I do. You can see.
Wait a minute. Are you going to start doing cooking streams?
You should.
No.
Oh.
I would
No,
watch
my
that.
cooking days are long gone. They're
Oh.
done. I
Well,
spent too
just-
much of my life doing that shit.
Well, fair enough.
But
Heaven.
yeah, I would say my you got it is Nine Souls. Nine Souls is it's such a good game. For anyone who hasn't seen it, it's Hollow Knight with Sekiro combat. It
Mhm.
is so
okay.
beautifully done. It's beautiful art style. It is it's insanely difficult at times, but god damn it, it's so much fun. I had to restart it from the beginning when I got back into streaming, so I could I wanted to show it to everybody, to come in and check it out because it's a game that deserves more attention.
I have been silent on your streams. I just pop in and watch it for a bit, and then I'm like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go take a nap. But it looks like a great game. I sort of don't want to
It's
spoil it for
fantastic.
me because that's a jam I like. So,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna definitely check it out. Marcus, Yogo, look how fast we're going.
Hello.
Normally we'd be like an
I know,
hour
we're
in
just
doing this,
here.
right?
I mean, yeah, and I'll be keeping mine fast. I don't really have too many crazy yums or anything. I've just been working on stuff for my workshop, but going off of our last stream or a couple streams back from when we did our Godzilla thing, I've been working on my Godzilla over there. You
it's
can
so
kind of
good.
see him
Ooh.
It's
over
so
here.
good.
He's a big boy, and he's looking awesome. He's got lights all down his back that light up and everything, and his spikes are just being coated right now, so I can put them back on him.
So cool.
And then I got to put his eyes on. I got to do some sculpting on his face, and then he'll be ready for paint. He'll be unveiled when I go to VaughnCon in August. I'm going to a convention down in Vaughan. And it should be a lot of fun. Both him and the Demogorgon are coming with me, and a bunch of masks and helmets and pieces that I'm working on right now. So I've been working on a bunch of those. I got right now I'm working on the detective or dark detective Batman helmet. It's fucking awesome. It's like Batman meets like Captain America kind of thing, and it's just it's fucking amazing. And once I finish it, because it's coming along beautifully, once I finish it, I feel like one day I will do a full dark detective cosplay or something, because it's just so cool.
I think I'm gonna.
It's a nice one.
The Yosh the Batman cowl he came out with today. I'm definitely gonna print.
Oh,
tomorrow.
I'm just I left the on this like last month, and I saw that, and I'm just like, the Batman cowl is enough to make me go, do I want to come back in? Do I want to buy back in? Like,
fair.
it looks so damn good. Oh, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I might. I just might.
The Pokemon.
And
not
that's
the Pokemon.
that's it.
The Power Rangers ninja. They're like the samurai Power Rangers.
I already got the ones I like. I already got the ones I want anyway, so I don't like they showed the blue one, and I was like, I don't want that one.
Yeah.
If I needed to do all of them, then I guess it would. Yeah.
I need the green one so I could put it with this guy. Yeah.
Did you not get the? Were you not a Patreon for the green one?
Yeah, but it's just gonna take a while to print it.
I still have to do the Godzilla helmet, like the samurai Godzilla helmet. I still got to do that. So
did you see that people are Reptar painting it? So it's like the
Yes, I did. And I love. Did you like his most recent like paint contest that they did and everything? I loved the Dynaco paint job on one of the Space Marines.
Yeah,
I fucking love that. That was my favorite. That was my absolute favorite. I was like, Dynaco blue, and it's got all the decals on it and shit. A little bit of weathering. I was like, it's fucking cool. That's really cool. I love that.
So many good.
I like when people.
There.
Yeah, I like when people get a little bit more creative like that, as opposed to just being like, oh well, it's supposed to be dark blue with gold. I'm gonna do that. Like I like seeing it get a little bit fun and funky. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, someone
got to try to figure out to do that.
Someone did a Nuka-Cola T65 armor set, like the full thing, and I was like, that looks so good, so good.
Like the one that the guy jumps into. Like, you've seen that, like where the guy steps into it and it actually folds up around him, like it's supposed to do in the game. There's a guy who made it. The Nuka-Cola version of the entire.
Oh, I didn't see it in motion.
Yeah, so like somebody, like some guy, he's in the full Fallout suit and everything, and he gets into the thing. It's amazing. It's really cool.
That's so cool. So cool. More printing. Printing is fun. Dave, what's good with you?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. For the VaughnCon, what days are it? When is it?
Yeah. August 10th.
August 10th. Cool.
August 10th. Yeah, it's a 1-day thing. I missed it last year. They asked me to come last year. Wasn't able to do it. So this year they reached out again, and I was like, it looked like fun last year. It's something I want to be a part of, so I'm jumping in.
Amazing.
Which unfortunately means I'm missing the Toronto Prop Expo for it, but I just wanted to give them a shot and see what it's like over there.
For sure. Cool. Now, Dave.
Man, just to keep it short, it's Helldivers. It's all I have time for. I got time to play one thing, and it's Helldivers. I'm in the thick of school. I have 2 midterms tomorrow for my condensed class. They're 14-week classes condensed down to 5 weeks. So I have 2 more lectures to listen to tonight, and I need to watch Dr. Strangelove because it's my nuclear bomb class.
Oh shit! Okay.
About the history of the nuclear bomb. So yes, I've been playing. Speaking of nuclear bombs, I've been playing a lot of Helldivers. The game's in such a good state, and we just heard today that we're gonna get a new big patch on August 6th. So I'm super looking forward to that.
There's lots of new stuff. I'm gonna post about it on Geeks with Kids tonight. We got a big press release from Sony about it, so I will do that once this is all done.
I even got Bob Q to come out and play again last night.
Oh,
I
yeah?
brought him out of retirement. Yeah,
Nice.
It'll be
Cool.
a lot of fun.
I gotta play that game again one day when
Everybody
I'm not
needs to play
exhausted.
Helldivers.
What's good with me? I just finished 2 seasons really fast of Outer Range, which is a Amazon Prime show, a Prime Video show, I guess is what it's called.
Yeah.
Which features
Hawk, you were talking about that one, right?
yeah. So I
it's-
finally got into it, and Hawk does not disappoint in any of his choices ever. So I watched it. I watched all of the second season, and then found out the third season was canceled. So
know.
I'm just like,
Oh.
no. And it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. It ends on a cliffhanger too, and you're just
Of
like,
course it does.
"Motherfucker."
Yeah.
Well, then I can't watch it now. Then.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yep. Go. Who?
So you recommend?
I do recommend watching it because the first season's incredible. The second season's even better. But then you're gonna be like, okay, well, they sort of set up everything you see in the first season. Oh, I don't know how to phrase this without spoiling it. There are things they show in
It's
the
a very
first season.
it's very hard, right?
Yeah.
But basically, it comes down to like a drama about two families and that warring over a piece of land because that piece of land has something very special in it.
Mm-hmm.
And only one person in the season one, at least only one person really knows the secret of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that's fair.
Yeah, that's a really good description. Keep the mystery.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin's in it. You know
Lily
the
Taylor plays
Lily
his
Taylor.
wife, Cece. William Sadler? I think it is.
No,
Yeah.
not William Sadler's not on
Will
that.
No, no.
Patton.
Will Patton.
Yeah.
That's
Ah,
the name. That's him. Yeah.
It's got Imogen Poots.
Imogen Poots. Yeah.
Yep, she's great in
She's
it.
really good in that show.
the one that plays the son. What's his name?
Which son?
Royal son.
Oh,
Is it Lewis Pullman?
Lewis Pullman is really good. He was in Top Gun. The guy from
Or-
Schitt's Creek. What's his name?
Dan Levy?
No, his husband
Yeah.
on the show.
Oh,
Who has a really
I
great,
never finished that
who has a
show.
really great voice, by the way.
Yeah, you find that out in Schitt's Creek too. If you guys
Yeah.
have not watched Schitt's Creek, you should watch Schitt's Creek.
I started it a while back, and I think I got to season 3, and then I stopped to take a break, and I never went back.
You should just
and
go
I
back.
should.
Yeah, there's
I
only
should
2 more
watch it.
seasons.
Yeah.
The one who plays Perry, Tom Pelfrey, great actor.
Oh, yeah.
He season 3 of Ozark. Ooh, he is a standout in that.
Also from Iron Fist.
Mm.
I don't recall that, and I'm not going to go back to watch it and see
I
it.
forgot Iron Fist
Oh,
too.
yeah, I better rewatch Iron Fist.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh no, a baby's coming. I can't watch Iron Fist.
No, nuts. Yeah, so that show's really good. I've also been playing Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League,
Suicide Kill the Justice League. Yeah.
which
Mhm.
is very confusing as a game because I really I'm interested in the story, not super invested, but I like hearing Kevin Conroy as Batman all the time in that game, which
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
is
Yeah.
wonderful. They continue the storyline from Arkham Knight, which I didn't think they would. This is actually, it's still in that universe. They talk about how he faked his death and then he came back many years later to join or form the Justice League. I can't remember what it was, something like that. The gameplay is sort of tight, but not different enough amongst the 4 main characters, and like it's super
Yeah.
repetitive. And I played Destiny for years. like I found this repetitive.
But now how does it fare next to Gotham Knights as far as gameplay?
I like Gotham Knights better.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed
Okay.
Gotham Knights. I thought it was fun. I thought each of the people were different enough that it was cool.
Yeah, I was disappointed with Gotham Knights. I wanted a little bit more from the characters.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
it was fine.
I-
It was fine. I mean, I can't complain. I got it for like $20 or something when it was on sale. Like,
I really liked
Whatever. It's fine.
that Batgirl was the closest to Batman, and then everyone else was fairly different, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
In this one, like you can tell, like, what's his name?
Deadshot,
King Shark. King
Shark.
Shark is like a heavy, like he's purely there for DPS.
yeah,
Captain Boomerang is like this fast dude that's sort of like supposed to distract people. Harley Quinn is random. I don't even understand her gameplay. And then oh no, heavy King Shark is the heavy, and then Deadshot
Yeah.
is the DPS guy. So I'm more of a sniper type person. I've been playing as King Shark because I think he's funny, and I like his traversal mode. It makes the most sense in my brain when I'm playing, because each of their
Cool.
traversal modes are different. And
Yeah, he plays kind of like the Hulk, right? He just
he runs, he
grabs onto
jumps, and
buildings.
then
Yeah.
That seems more like what I would enjoy the most.
it's very repetitive and sort of boring, but I want to see where it goes. But I'm playing Planet Crafter. Which
You have it with for
They
your
gave it away
Justice
on-
League one? Did you
they
get
gave
it
it away
with
on Epic,
the
didn't
with the DLC?
No, so they
Did
gave
you
they gave it away.
DLC for the Joker, like
No, it's like $10 for it, and I'm like, I don't want to pay money for something I got for free on Prime Day. Is that so petty? But I also don't want to pay money. But apparently, you get points like in Helldivers that you can add towards the battle pass or to getting characters. But I don't think I'm gonna make it to that point where I'm gonna get enough points because I don't think I'm gonna end up finishing the game. I just sort of want to meet up with Batman and maybe Superman. I think Superman might be
They gave
last.
away Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge on Epic, and you could be playing that instead.
I played that game already, all the way through.
It's
on
really good.
I was on
I
Xbox.
sat down and played that all the way through, and as soon as I got it, as soon as it came out, I sat down, done.
Yeah, it's a fun
Loved
game.
it.
I like that game.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the Acolyte. So the show ended last week.
Yeah.
We talked about it a month ago, and we talked
Yeah.
about how the first half of the season was super uneven, and we didn't know where it was going, and we didn't really care for it, to be honest. There were some parts. This was right before episode 5, so we saw the first 4 episodes. So, I know Brent hasn't seen this show, so he's gonna check out for a couple minutes while we chat about how the second half ended. And what did you guys think overall? Like, did you enjoy the show? Let's go with whoever wants to. Brent, not Brent.
I think
Come on,
Don't
Dad. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna eat candy.
Yeah, do that.
I feel like we were like, the show needs to do this to make any sense, and then it did that, and it wasn't like we were excited for it. We were like, well, this is your only out, and then it did it, and we were like, great, you did the thing. Okay, it doesn't blow you away, right? Like,
there were a couple
I thought-
parts that blew me away. I think
love
the fight
scenes.
the fight choreography
Yeah.
was phenomenal. I think that was
The
really
first
good.
episode and the last episode had phenomenal fight choreography.
You mean fifth episode and
And
first
fifth
one?
episode, of course.
I was gonna say fifth episode
5,
was actually
and-
pretty cool too.
Yeah.
No, the very last episode. There's that. I really like that fight.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's good too in that, but like the standout centerpiece of the show had to be episode 5, right?
I didn't
I
like
don't
it. as
know.
much.
I think the Soul and Smilo Ren fight was way better. Like I love that
I
fight
don't
at the
know.
end. It was so good. He force pushed everything
okay.
away,
Mhm.
including lightsabers, and it
Yes.
was so cool.
No, no denying it was a great fight in that,
It's
but
just like
I don't
Manny
know.
just
For
said.
me,
The
in
lightsaber.
terms-
They were like cutting. They're like fighting and they're cutting through the building. Like they were like, that
On the
was sick.
bridge?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sick.
that was cool.
Yeah. But one of the like for me, the thing that feels off about it was like, Smilo shows up for the first time, and do we actually have a real name for him? I can't remember.
Camille.
He's
He's the stranger.
He's the stranger.
Kamir's a
Kamir was
fake
a role.
name.
Yeah, Kamir's a fake name. He was his.
Okay,
role is
so
the
we don't
stranger.
actually know his. We don't know his
I guess it's
real
not his
name.
real
yet.
name.
That's right.
But everything I've
so
seen just
we'll just-
points to him being Chimera in that. So
he shows up that first time on what was the planet?
Brendok.
Koshad or something. What?
Oh
Which
no,
one?
Yeah. No. Brendok is the first planet.
That's the planet that they're
The Wookiee
Yeah,
planet
they're
is
on.
what you're talking about.
The Wookiee planet, the Wookiee's planet or whatever. He shows up there. He flies down like the fucking Voldemort, and he shows up with force powers and kills a fuck ton of Jedi.
I love it.
And it's incredible. Like he's blowing shit around. He's including Saul. He takes Saul almost the fuck out. And then we get to the end fight, and he's like toe to toe with Saul, and Saul's like giving him the business to the point where he's like, "I will beat the shit out of you." And I'm like, "The fuck happened?"
I wish they
I
explained
think he
this.
tapped into the dark side.
Yeah, in the
But,
High
like,
Republic, they were allowed to like this was actually a something that was really prominent in the novels, which I hate having to reference for people because
to
people don't
understand,
know
yeah.
this stuff, and that's not how people should be shown something, right? Like Like I like
Yeah.
that he did tap in because they were allowed to. Like sometimes they would go too far and they would have to like go off and like meditate and stuff, sort of like
Do
what-
like penance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he did really tap into it.
Because he's mad that whole fight.
He is.
Um,
Oh,
Oh,
I
he's
love it.
frozen.
He'll be
I
back.
think I was seeing a little bit more of him unhinge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you're back.
We got
Okay.
you. You're back.
I would just love because it's funny for me. You guys all froze, and then all of a sudden I heard he's frozen. I'm like, oh shit. Like I would have liked to have seen him like unhinged just a little bit more
Soul?
to just like illustrate. Yeah, Soul. Yeah, like I would have liked to have seen him like unhinged just to the point where like you can tell he's gone a little bit dark in this moment.
Mhm.
You know, something like that would have been really good. Manny Jacinto was fantastic. I think
All the
he's
way
done a
through.
great job.
Best part of the show.
Entire way through. He's
100%.
easily the best part. Like he's held his role tightly, and it's beautiful, and it's exactly what it should be. I think he's doing a great job. I'm glad we finally actually like from our last conversation we got to see the Wookiee fuck shit up a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more, but I'm happy with what I saw. I did want to
Agreed.
see more like raw Wookiee strength with the Force mixed in kind of thing.
sure.
Like, you know, I wanted to see a little bit more of that. Especially if he was being like mind controlled at that fucking moment, like, you know, tap into everything dark, everything evil, and just
I
fucking
wanted
rip shit
to see
apart.
him pull apart like a piece of like that structure and make like boxing gloves, like the Hulk.
Yeah, like something stupid like that. I just wanted to see something dumb like that, or like. But I was happy. Like again, much like Dave already kind of said, we said these are the problems, these are things that we should have seen. Why didn't we get this? And then they kind of gave us a little bit of all of it.
We got a
But,
Wookiee
like, not
fight.
enough
We
to make
killed
us-
off all the Jedi. Like, you
Yeah.
know.
Killed off all the Jedi. Like we got everything that we said needed to happen, but we were also just like, oh yeah, okay, well. I mean, that's just you just did
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do. So
It's
Yeah.
funny because I was
like
talking.
it's
I started to talk to Hawk about each episode as it was going on, and before the next episode, I'd be like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do this, and then they would do that, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna do this, and then they do that, and I'm just like, God damn it, I hate being right, but I also like being right, so I was just like, because I
Yeah,
want to be
it-
surprised.
it's you know, like when you find out he was the apprentice, like you that didn't shock me. I'm like, we knew
We
this.
talked about
This is
this. I was
something
like-
that we all
I was like-
talked about it at episode 4, and we're
I was
just like, okay, yeah, like you're not blowing minds here. You're just doing
Well-
what you're supposed to be doing.
Well, I think I was saying to you guys, I was like, isn't it strange that the stranger took off his shirt and shows these whip marks, and then that same episode you see a lightsaber whip? I was like, that's a
You see
very
a lightsaber
convenient,
whip.
isn't it?
Hey, what do you
the
know?
show suffers from all the same things we've been suffering from on Disney Plus, which is should be a movie. Just should be a movie.
Yeah.
Just make
That
it a
would've been a
2-hour
great
movie. This fucking
Well,
horseshit of we're gonna do 8 episodes so that we have time to figure everything out before it happens is not entertaining.
I would 100% love to see this as a trilogy. Not like this series, but this could have been a
Yeah.
good first starting off. And then, because like, I want to know what happens to the stranger and Ocean now. Like, I knew she was going to turn bad. I knew that in the first
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
And I told everyone that in the first episode.
I also feel like her turn felt really like I don't know. It feels like unlogical. You know what I mean? Like she was the good person, wanted to be a Jedi, wanted to do all this stuff the entire time of her entire life, and then a couple things go wrong in a couple days, and she fucking turns immediately to the dark side and is like, "Yeah, I'll be your apprentice. Yeah, I'll be fucking dark the entire time. Like, let's do this."
But she also did it
like,
to save
the-
her sister, I think. So
She did, but at the same time, it's just like it's just too
It's-
convenient. I almost
The Sith are preying
liked
on
it more
the
if
fact-
like she pushed back.
I think what this is explaining is like the whole point of the Acolyte is explaining why Jedi are not allowed attachments. Because a bunch of bad shit's probably going to happen now. Because they're going to say, well, this one girl we wanted to train one time, who we shouldn't have tried to train, couldn't let go of her attachments. And also Master Soul couldn't let go of his attachments. So that's it. Nobody gets any attachments anymore.
more-
We're gonna be
No
like,
attachments
the-
anymore.
the
You're not
two
allowed.
worst examples in Jedi history are why no one else gets to have friends.
I mean,
what are you
this-
talking about?
this era, they were allowed to get married.
Yeah.
So that would be amazing if they actually did that. We're like, nope,
No, it
no
seems,
weddings.
Yeah, it
No.
seems. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
was there anything in the
But
last?
I mean, just like
Sorry, keep going.
I would have liked to have seen prior to I would have liked just a little bit more resistance with like them even trying to like fight off the stranger a bit, just like trying to just like actually be like, no, we're not doing it, until it kind of becomes evident like this is kind of our only shot. This is the best chance you got right now. This is probably the most ideal situation for you to live the rest of your life out. Okay. I would have liked it just happened it was too convenient and too just like, okay, let's go off together in our spaceship and let's just leave this mess here and we'll just wipe my sister's mind. That's cool.
I mean,
it's
if Manny Jacinto told me I can go off in a spaceship with him, I would.
And held your hand at sunset.
Yes, if he held
my hand at sunset, I'd be like, oh my god, like so strong but so soft too. Your
so
skin.
Gentle.
What?
Portals, my friend.
So gentle.
Hawk, what'd you think of
Portals!
the second half? You weren't in the Acolyte review.
Not the initial discussion group, no. So second half, the second half was definitely a lot stronger. You pointed it out to me that basically what happens is like they would have like an amazing episode and then kind of more of the quiet episode. Episode 8 definitely kind of brought everything together. Maybe it would have definitely paid for this to be, if not like a trilogy of movies, then maybe just a shorter series. And 6 episodes with a little extended time would have been great.
Cut that fat, right?
Yeah. It's like one of the biggest complaints I think I have is that, Disney spent 180 million producing this series.
Fuck.
And that. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge investment in it. And the fact that it didn't help that there was a whole like community devoted to just like, making sure this thing never took off. It got review bombed. It got trolled like crazy. And my only complaint is that the good parts of the series seem to be, cast aside because of it. Episode 5, I loved it. It had everything I was looking for in a Star Wars episode, not that devoted to just Jedi Sith fights. It had all that classic kind of Japanese samurai movie framing. The fact that it introduced like, something like a corticite, the helmet.
Cortosis.
Not metal.
Yeah.
Cortosis, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lore.
Like, I like that they're bringing stuff in from the Star Wars Legends books, and like they're doing it well. I think I love the.
Well, Cortosis was in an earlier novel.
The Han
that
Solo
is not
one.
No, but it's also not. It has been canon in the new stuff. I looked it up when that was happening.
It's not a legend anymore.
No, something from 2019. There was a book or whatever.
Oh, they added it then.
So
okay,
yeah,
cool.
But it's never been on screen.
No. There's a lot of things like
it's also that's not how Cortosis actually, because Cortosis, if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to knock out lightsabers, not just resist them.
Yeah.
So,
which it did sometimes.
Which it did. It did actually.
But that was the one thing that was weird.
He would do that headbutt into the lightsabers and that. Not just that. The fact that he uses this as a tool and that to gain a further connection to the Force because it blocks out everything and leaves you just alone with the Force.
They can't read his mind too. Was neat. Yeah.
He was like Magneto.
There was some good writing there that they probably should have tried to expand on for other parts of the
Was there anything?
Yes, exactly.
Was there anything that really surprised you by the ending? Like, what are the things? I fully was joking about Yoda showing up because he was very like prominent in this season, in this era, and then he showed up at the end. I was like, oh fuck, I guess okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
you I gotta say, you really did.
That was fucking
You
funny.
really did make it hard to be surprised by.
I'm sorry that I guessed all these things and they turned out true.
I was reading an interview with the showrunner, and she was like, "Well, we didn't want to end with Plagueis to like take away from this." I'm like, "You ended with fucking Yoda to take away from everything that happened." Like, what
and
are you
did end
about?
with Plagueis too.
No, he's in the last episode.
he's
in
in
the
the
first
last
half of the last
You
episode.
didn't, fair.
Yeah.
That was something surprised me.
It
Like
was
seeing Plagueis, I was like, oh.
It surprised me, but at the same time I was like, there has to be some, like I was waiting for something to be like the other side of his coin, like the other side of the stranger's coin or whatever. Like, who is the person who trained him? Who pulled him to that side? Like, he didn't just do it himself. Like, there's got to be somebody. And I was just like, oh, like, what makes sense? And of course, Plagueis was one of the things that made sense in my mind. And then as soon as you saw him, I was like, okay, great. So we have a first live action confirmation and face of him. Looks pretty good from what I can see in the shadows. Looks exactly as he does in like comic iterations and stuff like that. I'm like, cool, that's awesome. So I mean, really, it's one of that and Manny Jacinto are the only two reasons I want to see another season. Like, I just want to see
I want to know where that
more of
dynamic
what
is going.
they're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
do.
especially because we know that eventually. Well, we don't know for sure that in the current canon that Plagueis was Palpatine's master.
I think that is canon.
we don't.
That is supposed to be the canon thing.
Well, the
isn't it?
Darth
Yeah, I'm
Plagueis
pretty
book
sure.
is Legends. It came out right before, so it doesn't technically
Oh,
count.
God.
It's a Legends book.
It's so
But
confusing.
it's possible, right? Palpatine could be trained by Manny Jacinto, but probably not. So that's interesting to me. But I don't want to have to explore all this other crap to always get to the good story. Like, Disney seems to really want to do this. Well, we'll just kind of put the cheese in front of you a little bit, and like, no, just give us the good story. Stop trying to fucking string this other shit along.
This is why I wanted to see a sequel to Han Solo. Like, I wanted to know about Darth Maul's syndicate more than anything else before then.
Yes, that nothing made me so angry than like seeing his hologram at the end, and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is gonna be great. And then they're like, no more of this. This movie was terrible. It bombed. It was awful. I'm like, no, you fucked it up. You fucked it up, you assholes.
I actually didn't like that movie.
I wanted that. No, I actually liked the movie, but like, you know, it got trolled and bombed so bad and everything.
Well, they released this like 5 months after
summer, and they released
Rogue
it in
One?
the summer.
Oh yeah,
not Rogue One, after like Rise of Skywalker or something.
Oh yeah,
Isn't it? Or
yeah. So
Last
people
Jedi,
are already
Last
on
Jedi.
hate on for Last Jedi. Yeah, people are already on a hate on for like the Star Wars shit at that point anyway. And then like that was just fucking terrible. But I would have loved to have seen more of that story. But anyway, in this world, like I want to see what Darth Plagueis's like storyline is. I want to see what brought him there, what he's planning to do, like because his whole thing is he's not supposed to be one of the strongest Sith or anything. It's just his knowledge, his I want to see that.
The Darth Plagueis the Wise, right?
Yeah, it's crazy because like
Plagueis
he sees his apprentice getting a new apprentice, and you know what that means? They got to get rid of the master. So
there's only two. Oh shit.
Well, I think.
But here's the thing: at that point, like the rule of two is it actually a thing?
Yeah,
already
it's been like that for hundreds of years. Yeah,
hundreds and hundreds and thousands.
Yeah.
Okay,
at this point.
Yeah. Revan was like, we should have only two, and then Bane was like, I'm gonna make that happen because there's a whole bunch of Sith. The Darth Bane books are excellent. They're written by the guy who created Revan as well. And Darth Bane is like, cool. How about I just force bomb all you motherfuckers? And he kills like almost all the Sith.
Keanu Reeves can only go on for so long to be another.
Well, Keanu Reeves should be Revan because Revan's look was based on Keanu Reeves. But Dave Bautista as Darth Bane would be pretty sick because that's how he's built. Darth Bane is a fucking hulking monster of a Sith. And he covers himself with lightsaber resistant bugs, basically called orbalisks.
So cool.
It's a good series.
Was there anything?
Highly recommend.
Yeah, sorry.
Those the same, those aren't the same creatures from Heir to the Empire, are they?
They might be. They might be. It wouldn't surprise me.
I think I'm gonna end off this section just by saying a couple things that I was surprised to see in live action. I never thought they would do. Bleeding a lightsaber, which I thought was really cool.
It looked neat, yeah.
I thought it was really nice. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that surprised me at the end of there? No. But sorry, I guessed everything. It was just nice to see the bleeding of lightsaber. I never thought I'd ever see that live action, so that was cool to see.
There's a lot of threads I would love to see them pick up on that. If not in a second season of this, maybe as I don't know, something else. You know?
I would be fine with Disney Plus movies. Like if they went that route, like Paramount Plus does,
make movies.
Just do that.
What? Wait, can we talk about like the turning of the lightsaber red?
Yeah, that's the bleeding.
The bleeding. Yeah.
Okay, so that was bleed. Okay, because I was just wondering, like, I don't know, maybe I wasn't watching it close enough because like suddenly it was just like it just turned red, and I was like, the fuck did it just turn red for? Like it just suddenly was.
What bothered me about it is that she was touching the actual crystal, which you don't have to do. Like, it's just you have to be in the presence of that person, and like I don't think Darth Vader was holding his crystal when he bled it, from what I remember in the comic book. But yeah, you could see that Soul's hilt had broken, and part of it was jutting out and touching her. I assumed that a lightsaber blade would come out that same area, considering it's pointing out. But whatever. I'm fine with it because it looked really cool. Really cool.
It is a newer concept. Like, it's not George Lucas never had that in anything.
No.
So that's why, because in theory we should have seen it for the first time when Anakin goes to kill all the Jedi. Like, that would have been a sick moment to see Darth Vader for the first time bleeding his lightsaber. But
he was using that lightsaber to kill something. Like the whole idea of using.
But he was a Sith. He had the Sith eyes by that point.
Yeah.
Right. Like he'd fully gone dark side.
But it would have happened before then, right?
Yeah, but we still see, if it was, what I'm saying is, if we were going to see it in live action
That
back
would have been
then,
a
but it didn't exist then. Like,
and
that's
you know
what I mean, it's a
why
newer
it
concept.
couldn't, right? Because he had to give that lightsaber to his son,
That's right.
so they
That's right.
couldn't bleed the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Plus, it wouldn't have looked as good watching
A red lightsaber
Obi-Wan.
against lava.
Yeah, like they had to do green and blue. But
Blue.
Yeah.
Wasn't it blue
Yeah.
and blue?
I thought it was Obi-Wan has a green lightsaber then, doesn't he?
No, he's blue.
No,
he
it
always
was
has
blue on blue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Blue.
Yep.
Anyway, let's talk about the boys.
Brent, wake up! It's time to talk about the boys.
It's the boys. So the show just ended last week, which was July 20. No, it's like 18 or something like that. I don't remember.
16th.
Yeah, and we're in our 4th season. And shit has happened in the first 3.
Whew.
And I'm not going to go over it because it's a lot. There's a lot. But I just want your initial impressions of the season. Was it like The Acolyte? Was there a lot of highs and lows? Was it all over the place? Was it pretty solid all the way through? What did you guys think of the 4th season? I'm going to start with Brent because he hasn't talked in like 20 minutes.
Well, you just asked me to compare it to The Acolyte, which I haven't seen.
Oh, well, no, I just said... I said, was it...
Listen,
were there
guys,
lots of-
Eric's back in body, but not mentally.
No brain.
So
I said not... Was there ups and downs
You're
like
doing
The
great,
Acolyte?
Eric. Don't listen
Was
to
it
this heathen.
uneven like The Acolyte? But was it a solid season for you?
I found it solid-ish. I found it to be a...
it's called a liquid.
Yeah, I found it to be a good season. I was entertained the whole way, but I felt that overall, it just seemed to really be nothing more than, to me, to be building up for season 5. And there wasn't a lot of stakes this season where nothing anybody did really had any kind of importance or repercussions happen. So I enjoyed what I watched, but I felt like it just didn't. It was lacking.
Interesting. I'm gonna go to Marcus.
I really liked the season. I was very happy with pretty much every episode. There was something in every episode that made me just kind of giggle and get all squealy for at some point or another. I mean, I agree on some of what Brett just kind of touched on. There is a lot of setup in this season. This season is a huge setup. It's one giant chess move happening throughout an entire series of episodes, right? And I mean, I kind of thought it right from the beginning that, well, no matter what,
Couldn't have said it better.
the end, and this was
Happens every time.
this is one was that as soon as Sage first. Oh no! Did it happen again?
Yes.
The way you every time it cuts back in, you're making some weird movement for a second, and it freezes down.
You had
T-Rex
just started
arms.
to build to this very poignant point, and then it just went out, and we're just like, no.
Where where did it end?
It ended like this.
Yeah.
I think it ended right as you started into the there. So you said every episode had something you really enjoyed. I agreed with Brent on certain things, and then they cut out.
Okay, the whole series was or this season was a giant chess match,
Yes.
or like a chess move kind of thing, right? And I kind of knew almost from the beginning, the first episode when they introduced Sage, Sage's character, I was at the end of this, Sage is going to be it's all the plan. This was the plan. No
that too.
matter what happened, I was I knew that was going to happen. I was fine with it, because it did make me waver in that initial thought when she did get kind of ditched out of the 7, and Homelander was you're fucking done, you're out. I was oh shit, was I wrong? But like, I kind of just kept it in my head. I'm like, no, I feel like it's still going to be like, that was the plan. That was Sage's plan.
Mhm.
And then when she comes back at the end, I'm like, fucking told you, I knew it. And so that was, again, I don't mind that it happened, but it does mean that like essentially this entire season was setting up for season 5, for the stakes in season 5, which we didn't like Brent said, there wasn't crazy weird stakes throughout this season. They tried to make it feel like there was, with the political matches and all that kind of stuff, which, like, and I feel like MM at the end was just kind of like, like, yo, this is the last shit. This is our last thing. We're on defense now and everything. And it was trying to make it feel like this is the last thing. Like, this is high stakes. But I was still just like,
it's just that's how it was to me for most of it. There was a lot of that buildup of like, we have to do this. This is going to be like the thing, and then it would fail, and then we would get nothing happen from the failure or success in every episode. Nothing happened to follow through on everything.
They were constantly on the edge of a precipice.
Yeah,
right. And then they're like, well, if the next thing happens, we're fucked. And like, okay, well, the next thing happened.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually a taller ledge now, which it's sort of unfortunate because it did feel like the whole season it was like, oh, we'll end with like something really big happening, and I guess some big stuff happened at the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
Vicky.
Well, I mean, more so that like it's kind of crazy that the very last like 2 minutes of the episode, the final episode, are like, oh, that's really going to change how the next season starts. It's not just like everybody's on the run or whatever. It's like, no, it's this. That's a bit different. Like,
it has a Gen V ending.
We're going to open a different way. Yeah, right. But maybe that's because it's just setting up the next season of Gen V. You know what I mean? Like, which is so anti the boys, isn't it? Because the whole point of the show is to make fun of all that stuff. All the, hey, Marvel does this, so we don't do that. We wouldn't do that to you. It's like, well, you kind of just did, because now you have another series that you're setting up, and your last series set up stuff that happened this season, right? Like, if you hadn't watched Gen V, are you going to know? Like, maybe it doesn't matter, but like some of those characters showed up, and you're like,
but they didn't say anything, and they sort of just looked like stooges, like regular stooges, and I don't think that would have really mattered.
So
I did not finish Gen V yet. I actually only started watching it probably when this season started, and I've only got probably about halfway through, and I didn't feel lost this season by not seeing Gen V.
Cool.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they sort of explained the virus and all of that during the season.
Yeah.
Dave, you done? Can I go to Hawk?
Yeah.
Hawk, what'd you think? Was it uneven?
So, I didn't find it uneven. If there was any low point in it, it's when I started questioning reality itself and that, because like the storylines were just like just mirrored everything that was going on.
That's literally to the point of it being January 6th in the show as well. It's like, oh,
I mean, even
like, do we have to be that on the nose?
I know, and then like also being forced to, at points in that to sympathize with some of them, in that, like the firecracker and her whole confrontation of Starlight, and it's like letting her know what the truth behind like all that hatred of her was. But for me, it's a lot of the character interactions and performances. Like Carl Urban was great this year as Butcher, like just on the precipice of death the entire time, and still feeling like he's just got to push it and get out there. I felt so bad for him in that, like at times, just sick all the time, trying to help.
Can't feel bad for Butcher. He's a bad man.
It's like feeling bad for Scott Pilgrim. He's a douche.
But still, the highlight of the show is just like pretty much every scene that Homelander's in and that, because I can watch Martin Starr play him and that. Anthony Starr, sorry.
Oh, Martin Starr's probably pretty good at it too.
Yeah, Anthony Starr.
That'd be a very different Homelander.
It would be.
Just like, right, I'm gonna fucking laser everybody on this goddamn plane.
But just watching him like throughout the entire series, and of course like episode 4, it was a particular highlight in that. It's just like, it's great. Like every scene he's in, it's horrible, and it's like it's still a great performance. Yeah, get in the oven.
Oh my God, yes.
The way he delivers those lines is just like so like he's got the pleasant face on. Yeah, get in the oven.
I learned this game from you.
Oh God, that's chilling. I like this season a lot. I like the boys in general a lot. It did feel like they were setting up, but I wasn't sure if they were going to set up to like a big point and then next season would be a fallout, or like
we would
or-
actually see it this season, maybe. You
Mhm.
know, yeah.
But
Well, the fact that like the announcement for the episode or season 5 being the last one, and that you kind of saw the writing on the wall that
Yeah.
it's like they were going to set it up big in that for the final season, and you know what? I think they did a pretty good job.
yeah. It definitely feels like by the end of it that Butcher and Homelander are gonna, they're gonna
Mhm.
go at it one-on-one.
That
Especially
was
with-
always
yeah.
that was always in the cards, right?
I was
Ever
just
so
sure if-
far, it's also very different. Like I read the comics years ago,
Yeah,
and
same.
like the show is strayed so fucking far
Mhm.
from the comics.
Such a long time ago though. It strayed a while ago.
Oh yeah, for
But,
sure.
But still good. I like what this
Mhm.
is doing.
Don't worry about what Harcroft's saying in the chat. Don't worry about him. He's
Oh, no.
complaining about ads.
Oh no, sorry, Harcraft.
Oh, I'm
Watch us
sorry.
on YouTube then.
No, he'll complain about ads on YouTube then.
Oh my god.
Harcroft's gonna find a way to complain, aren't you?
Yeah, it
If he
happens.
subscribes to the channel, then let's just start advertising something.
Yeah, it
I should
happens.
say something nice. I'm gonna see him on Thursday, so I better not piss him off.
Yeah, where are you guys going to see Deadpool and Wolverine?
IMAX Incaster,
Nice.
which is not true IMAX, but you know,
It's still IMAX.
big
Close enough.
screen.
The I don't want to talk about the political stuff till later, but I did like how dark this season got. Did it feel like it got way darker than previous
Mhm.
seasons?
Yeah.
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 That was that. It's that feeling of like, hopelessness, and I think that reflects a lot of what's happening right now in the current political climate. But it was pervasive throughout the entire season.
I think I do want to go off what you were talking about, because we were talking about Homelander, and this season really has him going through a midlife crisis. Like, was it the first episode when he starts finding the gray pubes?
Yes.
Which I didn't
Yeah.
ever think I'd be saying on a podcast, but yeah. And then him sort of going down and trying to rediscover himself, where he came from, and then moving to the end. What did you guys think of his development throughout the season? Anyone can go first. Brent looks like he's just like,
It's not, you know what it was? It wasn't so much that I loved watching his development. It was more so I loved watching him and Ryan and their development through the season.
you can add that to
and seeing him kind of trying to steer Ryan the way that he always wanted to be steered, and then when he sees things going awry, and then we have the episode where he goes to his past and confronts everything that made him and the people who made him the way that he is and everything. I liked how it wasn't so much his moving forward, it was him closing his past that was so compelling to watch this season.
Do you think he
Yeah.
I'm interested in this. I'm just gonna go off this. Do you think he sees himself as a hero,
Of course. Of
Yes.
course.
or as
Yeah.
the only, or do you think he's above that? Does he think of
He
himself as a
sees
god?
himself as a savior. He sees himself as the only person
Yeah.
that can do anything that will help anyone in this world. He's classic narcissist. Like
He's the
he
moral
doesn't see himself as
authority.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
His way is the way. That's the only way he sees.
Yeah, I don't even know if he sees himself as a savior, because like he hates everybody, right? And so it's like, why would you want to see yourself as the
But-
savior
but
of
that-
something you hate?
But that's the thing, is he doesn't necessarily he sees himself as a savior of a species that he believes are like parasites.
Yeah.
I don't even think he thinks of I don't think he thinks he's the savior of humans. I think he thinks he's the savior of superheroes.
Mm.
Right? He
Yeah.
could care less about humans.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
just-
but at the same time, it's like they pointed out something great in that episode 4, and that even though he hates them and that, he still needs their love, and that part of him,
Mhm.
and that was drilled into him, and that professionally by psychiatrists that Vought hired.
oh,
Yeah. But I mean, like, that's kind of like they're working around like their problems that they had with Soldier Boy, right? Like Soldier Boy had what Homelander had, like the danger of being so powerful and everything, but then Soldier Boy had that mentality of like, fuck this, if it doesn't work out for me, I'm just going to destroy you all and do my own thing. Like they needed to have some way of keeping him in check, and so that was their best way of doing it. You can't overpower somebody that is more powerful than everything else you have at your disposal. So you have to mentally break that person so that you can control them. And I love that they did that. And that's also why they have to remove Soldier Boy from the playing field altogether. They can't kill him. All they can do is lock him away. So I kind of love that sort of thing. Like, like and the revelation to his face when they just kind of like when the doctor just kind of lays it out for him.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, holy shit. And now, did that make the situation worse, or is it better? Like, it's just kind of interesting.
He was kind of forced to face the truth, and that like people would only fear him. And I think after that he was perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't love him, so it's like they will fear me.
Yeah.
Yep. Any other final thoughts on Homelander before we move on to Starlight?
I can take it.
I mean, Anthony Starr is just fucking great.
Anthony Starr, amazing.
He's fucking great.
I love
fucking
seeing
love him.
his do you ever watch him on Xena? It's humorous seeing him on Xena.
Yes, on Xena. Yeah, long hair.
Amazing. Him and Carl Urban both on Xena.
I would love an episode where for like 20 minutes we just see him making faces and reacting to things happening around him.
Yep. I want Xena to show up randomly next season, just as a random actor.
No.
As an actor,
not Xena. Lucy Lawless.
Lucy Lawless. My bad. Lucy Lawless. I would love her to show
because
up
Lucy Lawless has superpowers, as we know from The Simpsons.
It's true. This is true. Also, she likes Toronto, so
Yeah.
Have her
Yeah,
come back.
but also she's a Cylon.
She is a Cylon, which is why she likes
Oh.
Toronto. So Starlight this season has been going through some superpower pains. Changes. She's more secure in her ish with her relationship with Huey, but she's also unsure of her spot as a superhero and as the hero Starlight. And goes through some
She has to confront her like moral center, right? Where she's like, am I a moral person? Have I been a moral person? And can I rectify what I've done with who I want to be?
And like most superhero series, this manifests in her powers not working. What did you guys think of her?
Is it weird that her like lightning powers don't work or whatever light powers don't work, but she's still super strong and super tough, right? Like,
I mean,
like when Tobey Maguire Spider-Man can't web sling anymore, he can't stick to walls anymore. He didn't like lose his six pack. Like he was still. It's funny how that works out. We're like, oh, we can take away these other powers, but this other thing, is that not a superpower? Is that not like a?
Yeah,
No, I think that's just a commonality with supers because like it seems like every super is basically like has some degree of being bulletproof or super strong.
Yeah.
Like even the shapeshifter in that, bullets were doing nothing to it.
Anybody who needs to be super tough and super strong in The Boys is super tough and super strong, and anybody who doesn't need to be usually isn't. So it's just like, because like somebody like Love Sausage, that's supposed to be his only superpower.
Yep.
He's not like he's not super strong or super tough in the comics. He's just maybe a little bit, but like
I mean,
some people are just like mutants in the X-Men, right? It's like not all the mutants are like enhanced. They're just like that guy is blue. That's his mutant power is he's blue. Sucks to be you, but like
fair.
Yeah.
But what did you think of like Starlight's progress throughout
maybe
the
the
season?
best arc for anybody in this season?
I really like Huey's.
I mean, I don't know if Huey grew so much though.
I think he did. But anyway, you go.
Me?
Yeah, but Starlight. Keep going.
Oh, I mean, she just had a lot of interesting stuff to do. Because at the start of the season, she's like a political figure. And by the end, she's like, oh, I don't want to be a political figure. Like, this is real bad. This is real dangerous. Like being the face of a movement that she can't control. In reality, she's not equipped to control. And because she's that face, a lot of things are thrown her way, and she's forced to confront stuff that she doesn't want to confront, right? Secrets that she doesn't want out.
She didn't even realize, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we did the one secret, the big secret that let out in that, but like, the fact that
there are spoilers for this season, by the way, people listening.
Yeah. The fact that she didn't even remember what she did to Firecracker.
Yeah. It was just
Yeah.
one of the things she did. Such
Yeah.
a bitchy thing. Oh my God. Girl
Yeah.
drama, man. Girl drama. Any drama.
And I like how that kind of folds into the whole like Homelander confronting his past, as we see Starlight having to confront her past as well, as things she did are coming back to haunt her and dictating how she's going.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have any women on this podcast, but I imagine that would be a very interesting perspective for someone to have on this, everything that happened, because I'm sure this has affected a lot of people in their lives, and none of us are really here equipped to talk about that and how that impacts them.
You know,
especially for a superhero show. Go ahead, Hawk.
You know what was really great was the scene. It was like how it built on Homelander's murder trial, and that him walking out without any consequence to it, and basically expecting the result he got. And that I don't know why they. Yeah, it's funny to think like they put him on trial because like they can't imprison him.
Nope.
They can't really punish him in
Yeah.
any way. And we all know what that was based on, right? But the fact that he just kind of rolls on out without any consequences and that, but her,
well, what she did isn't
she was-
illegal, and
yeah.
yet it's like what he did is illegal,
Yeah.
but he's acquitted, and
Yeah.
then what she did is legal,
Yeah,
but
but
is
she is
considered
punished.
morally,
She is
exactly,
punished.
yeah,
They tried to ruin her with it.
complete opposite, like just the complete farce of what morality really is, like, oh well, it's self-defense because he threw a thing at my son. It's like, you're both physically invulnerable. What?
We don't know. It could have been anthrax.
I gotta say, I did love her arc this season. I love, especially at the beginning of the season. Starlight, however, has one moment this season that really, really aggravated the shit out of me.
Yes. And the whole internet was pissed. That was a real hypocritical moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even just the hypocritical moment, it's the way the hypocritical moment was handled afterwards. It's like yourself.
Explain it first.
So when Shifter posed as Annie, and Huey believed that it was her the whole time, and they got engaged, they were in love all the time, and he truly believed it until he saw some behaviors from her that didn't make sense, and he figured it out. And when Annie came back and realized that, like, you didn't know that was me, and got so angry at him about it, and it's like, how did he not? How was he A, supposed to know, and B, you yourself as a victim of sexual abuse on the show are now chastising this guy who was just a victim of sexual abuse. And the way they wrap that aspect up is her going like, it's okay, we'll have sex later. Oh boy, really? And that was like, oh, that's how we're ending that. Okay. That
I think
seems
it
a little
felt
weak.
more I think it felt more real though, the fact that she was a hypocrite about it.
Yeah.
Like it sucks for everybody, and it's gross and it's dirty, and in real life people do not handle those things well,
And-
as you would expect. So and Annie's been this really, like, she's been struggling this whole season with stuff. So it kind of makes sense that she really became selfish for a moment.
And I would have been okay with that if the show had handled the way it wrapped up that way, instead of just having that throwaway like, oh, it's okay, we'll have sex later.
Yeah.
And that being how that situation
And
resolved.
Huey's like, ooh, lucky me.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, what the fuck? Like, I was
like,
just
no, we
assaulted.
need to talk about this. Like,
Yeah.
Like not just by Shifter, but you remember what happened.
I
to me,
wonder
like, a
if there
week
was
before.
I do wonder if there was a bunch of stuff that they had to cut because they were like, oh man, like this isn't gonna fit well with everything, and we want to end this season like this,
Yeah.
right? Where like those two were so it's just like, man, but yeah, it feels real and the internet 100% agrees that like it feels real gross what happened there.
And I think it would have played well to the story to have that
that
situation end with Annie being the bad person in that.
Yeah.
Having the repercussion be that, like, oh shit, I fucked up.
Yeah.
Rather than like, yeah, whatever, we'll pass this on.
Yeah.
I
can't
think it would have
imagine
played better for her arc if it had done that.
Yeah, and I can't imagine it's going to get picked up next season. Next season's probably going to be like a breakneck pace of bad things.
Well, she fully realizes her powers at the end of the season, so I sort of feel like it's just gonna
the internet all of a sudden thinks she can take Homelander because of that now, and it's like, has she ever been nearly on his level? Like,
no.
No,
Ryan
those are
Like-
and
funny.
Soldier Boy. That's it. And
Like,
maybe
I
Queen
get
Maeve.
that she's sort of a Captain Marvel analog, even though the 7 are based on the Justice League.
Mhm.
But like, Captain Marvel
Kind of
couldn't take Superman.
I think
could
they
she?
just kind of
Maybe?
they mix up ideas a lot in this
That's
show.
true.
Yeah. Mhm.
Maybe.
Any
How
other?
about how about how
Yeah.
about A-Train's
for it.
transformation
A-Train
this
was great.
season? Yeah,
I
A-Train was
loved
great.
his story this season.
yeah.
I love that they showed Toronto as Toronto.
hmm
That always makes me
think,
happy.
think how little that shot cost them for once.
Yeah, yeah. It's like when in Strange New World, they're like, we're gonna have this episode in Toronto as future Toronto, but we're gonna have Toronto.
It just looks like Young and
Just-
Spadina now.
yeah.
yeah. We don't have to add any street thing. What do you think of A-Train going
Yeah.
from sort of a stooge on the 7 to becoming a hero, like an actual hero?
It's about time.
Yeah.
Like,
I
Yeah.
hated him for such a
It's
long
about time
time.
somebody
Yeah.
did. Like,
yeah.
well, because they made him a very unlikable character for such a long time, and then like his brother's storyline from last season, and everything, like all of that coming through is like really awesome. It brought him back to like being a more of a human that we can identify with. And then the moment when he saves and he sees that kid smile, like you could see that was like a turning point. And then like
Yeah.
when he kind of brings it up, it's like, yeah, that's wonderful, it's beautiful. And then he's just like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, and then he's gone. So I'm looking forward to him coming back and doing something hopefully awesome in season 5.
He will
It
be part of
is-
the he will be the Flash in the Justice League, in Andy's Justice League.
Yeah.
It is sort of weird though, because that is like one of the only, or maybe it's just this whole season they're doing like stuff that actually kind of fits with normal superheroes. I don't know if you guys played or read the Injustice comics,
Yes.
but the Flash works with Superman for a while, like being in the oppressive regime, and then he defects. And that's essentially like A-Train's story here,
Mhm.
because like Superman can't catch the Flash, right? Homelander can't do anything about A-Train. Like, how's he going to get him? So it's like the only character that can do that, I guess. I guess Maeve is hidden too.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It feels good, but it's also just like, this is just what happens in comic books, isn't it?
but there was also something
Yeah.
really sweet and like poignant when him and Huey ended up
Will
having that.
Ferrell? Oh.
No,
Yeah.
I do like that.
Oh.
But when him and Huey
That's what I
finally
want to talk about.
reconcile about
Yeah.
things, right? And how
Huey forgave
Yeah,
him.
we're good. Like we're actually good. Like
and the look on A-Train's face when he's like, "What? Really?" And you're just like, "Fuck."
I read a
happening.
great thing on Twitter, which is somebody was quoting Sun Tzu, which is your enemy retreats when you build them a golden bridge. Right? Like, because they can't be you're like, come, like, Huey's like, I'm so vulnerable right now. You can kill me, obviously. Right? I'm going to forgive you. And then A-Train's like, well, now I can't dislike you.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to be your friend, even though I've been terrible to you. Like, it was really interesting. Like, that's, part of Huey's evolution this season, right? Is like just figuring these things out.
He's
But
becoming the
Huey's
leader
also,
that he...
but is Huey also losing some of his humanity in this, because these people are murderers? These were not good
Yeah.
people. But he's also
he talks
Okay, go-
about
yeah.
he talks about how blood just doesn't even affect him anymore. How
Mm.
violence he die now, and he doesn't blink. Right? He just is like, okay, how do we get rid of this body? Or how do we do
How
this
many
part? Like,
times this
Yeah.
season was he like, we need to team up with this killer?
yeah.
Oh, we need Butcher for this. We need someone else for that. Well, let's use
But
it.
Do you
but
remember?
I don't think he's doing it as a sense of like, we need this person because they're
Oh, no,
capable
no.
of doing
He's
things
being
that I can't do.
practical.
He's doing it because it's like, I still believe that Butcher's a good person, and that
Yeah.
us bringing him into the fold will help that happen.
Yeah.
Like, he's always the person who sees the good in everybody, no matter what they do. Like,
I think the one thing that I disliked about Huey's journey is that I don't get to hear his lovely screams whenever blood sprays in his face anymore, and that was one of the
Yeah.
funniest things in the past 3 seasons that we always got from him. But yeah, he's becoming the leader of the boys, and I love seeing that progression of him. And he's the one that's always seems to be level-headed at this point. Like, he's the one who's
Well, it's good. He is the main character in the comics.
He is the main
so-
character.
Yeah.
And he has a lovely he looks like Simon Pegg. I love that.
Yes. Yeah, in the comics. Yeah.
What about we were talking about A-Train, but A-Train also had sort of this relationship with Ashley who's always sort of been this background character.
She's
But
terrible. What?
she is a
Like-
terrible person, but like she's sort of like trying, maybe. I don't know. There's
No, she's
Not-
just
No,
running.
she's
I-
trying
yeah.
to she's trying she's trying to save herself. Sorry, not trying to be good.
Yeah.
She's like the
She
guy.
is in full-on survival mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the dude on the Death Star who's like, should we evacuate? And then Tarkin's like, evacuate now at a moment of triumph, and then he dies or something. Like you're still in the Empire, dude. You work on the Death Star. You're not good.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think it's like they almost want you to feel like she's a good person trying to do good things, but she's not. She's just a self-interested person
It's just
who's
levels
only thinking of
upon
herself. like-
levels of
yeah.
people who have put
Well-
themselves into a position where they're being abused. And in some
Yeah.
respects, yeah, we feel sorry for those people, but they stepped on other people so they could get to that point of being abused.
She
So-
literally steps on people this season to get to
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
the telltale, like that
The
episode
scene-
was like the telltale heart, right? Like she was like, "Oh, this happened." Like she's like, I don't know if she's literally hearing a heartbeat or whatever, but it seemed like that
Mhm.
that was playing on her.
Mhm. Like there was so much going on with her in that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she is not a good person. She is an abused person, but at the same time, like she's so far into it now that she puts up with horror after horror and that. Remember what was her name?
yeah.
That
Ashley,
Ashley.
That poor that poor woman in that. Remember with the glasses? She was in I think
Her
she was in season
assistant.
1.
Wasn't
No,
her
she-
assistant also
It was
called Ashley?
her like assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also
They were trying
yeah.
to find the leak, and it's like it's okay. We just
I think it
need-
was. I think it was
just-
a joke in the show that every time one of her assistants was killed and replaced, it was replaced with another Ashley.
Ashley,
That's from the comics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it was actually. I don't know. I do remember from the first season, she was working down in security. Remember when Homelander goes down and he wants an image
Oh,
pulled? Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, she's just a person who she's tamping down everything she knows that is good and moral and that just to get this job done. Part of it's fear and part of it's that she's not ready to give up this position because she is quite powerful in her own right as far as the company goes.
Mhm.
I did
Right.
like the little joke that when she takes the V at the end and the first thing that happens is her hair falls out. Nice little nod to the previous seasons. But
Mm.
Like something is going on, like her cranium starts to expand.
She becomes
right?
the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the rest of the boys before we get to Butcher. Let's talk about Frenchie, Kimiko, and Mother's Milk. What did you think of
And-
theirs? Because they're sort of, I don't think they had a big enough thing to go into individually.
yeah, Frenchie was just kind of there this season for me. Yeah.
No, nothing good.
Is it
Unfortunate.
that those three, because they're all sort of like side characters, they just had to become like healthy in the sense like Kimiko's in a better place, Frenchie's in a better place, Mother's Milk is like he's made a decision. He's
Yeah.
like because he's been torn the
Yeah.
whole show, so now they're all set on a path for the last season, just so the last season's not going to worry about their motivation at all.
Yeah.
We're not going to worry about any of the, is he
Yeah.
worried about his daughter? It's just going to be, all right, they're ready to do this shit, right?
Yeah, almost like kind of expelling their past for good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I did like
Frenchie's, Frenchie's storyline
Yeah.
for the past 3 years has always been him worried about his past and what
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah,
basically all wrapped up now. Like Frenchie's past is wrapped up. Kimiko's past seems wrapped
I
up.
did not think that Kimiko was part of a child trafficking ring that was Filipino. What the fuck? Like I was listening to it, I was like, why are they speaking Tagalog? She's Japanese. What is going on? It was very
Oh
confusing. for
God!
me.
Thank God I didn't name one of my daughters Kimiko.
Well, she's one of the victims.
Yeah, sorry.
Could be worse. Could name your daughter Khaleesi, like a lot of people did.
A lot of people.
Yep.
A
Wow.
lot of people
Oh.
did.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
unfortunate.
dear.
I did like Kimiko's story this season. Like I love the whole
Yeah,
her
no.
trying to grow and trying to learn how to speak and
Yeah.
finally expressing her feelings for Frenchie and not being like the one who's constantly expressed upon. Like she finds more of her
Yeah.
inner strength this season, which was really good.
Mhm.
And Mother's Milk, I just found that was one of the ones where I'm talking about where it's like every time that they had a moment with him, it had no payoff and nothing happened afterwards as a result of it. It just felt like we just need him to have a story this episode.
It was him
And
sort
there's
of
no stakes for him.
Yeah, as soon as his wife left, I was waiting for him to eventually be like, his family has to go. Just
Yeah.
like that's what I was waiting for because we knew that that's where it had to go because
Yeah.
he's the only
Yeah.
one with a family.
I
Well,
would have
he's
liked
not
to have
getting
seen-
catharsis, right? Like the
Yeah.
other two are kind of getting like they're
Yeah.
losing burdens, and he's like stuffing a burden down.
Yeah. But I would have liked to have seen more like when he puts his foot down and Butcher, you're out. That's it. I would have liked to have seen more than 20 minutes before they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we got to bring Butcher back in. Or when he has the panic attack, I would have liked to have seen more follow up to that rather than just being like, all right, I had a panic attack. It sucked, but all right, I'm back. Let's go. You know,
Yeah.
there was nothing. It felt very empty with him this season.
It felt like it was that kind of thing where instead of us feeling and seeing the stakes that might be there, like it's just like, oh, we're going to use some exposition and tell you that these stakes exist and you should worry about them, but we don't. Like, you know, like they say. Did I freeze again?
No,
Nope, you're still going.
Video froze. Your audio is good.
or maybe
Now his audio is
Okay.
probably
Now it's-
there you go. He's back.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But like, fuck me.
It's the Demigorgon, man. It's the damn Demigorgon.
Yeah. We could hear everything you were saying. So
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
fine.
Please
You were fine.
continue.
Yeah, you're good. Can you not hear us?
It's gonna be.
I lost my own train of thought.
Oh my god.
You
I
were
will
talking about
say one
mother's
thing-
milk sort of not having sort of a path. It's sort of that's what I feel like you were saying. We can let Hawk go until you get back. Yeah. Go Hawk.
Yeah,
I will
please
say-
do. Please do.
Mother's Milk's wardrobe choices this season, always great. Loved it. Like all that old school like hip hop that he's always got on. Dead Prez in the last one.
Like except at the beginning like of the season until like maybe like 3/4 most of the season he was sort of a bureaucrat most of the time. And I like
Yeah,
that
he's
there was
trying to-
such a big change for him.
That it was too much of a big change for him in that. Like I guess he had a particular role in that. It's like, but when you're the one everything falls on, you know, it's like kill Victoria Newman was basically the top assignment for him this season and that.
Yep.
And it's just like he was panicking because like he was in a role that, you know, that needed him to be like Butcher style evil in that. And it's like, you know, in a lot of ways he couldn't get there.
And it threw
Yeah.
the internet for a loop that he had changed so much. Like you see him, like he shaved, his head is like his haircut was totally different. Like he was a totally different type of
People
person.
thought they recast him apparently because
He looked a lot older this season than he has
the
in
beard.
previous ones.
Oh.
It was
Yeah.
the beard hiding a lot of that.
Yeah,
He said
you
he
really
lost.
see how sunken his face is now. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he gained like 30 pounds of muscle to like be in the show, and then maintained that for like 4 years,
yeah,
and then went back to what his like normal weight is basically.
Mhm.
So that's what happens. Like he's like 5 years older.
Yeah.
For sure.
People age.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Longer than 5 years. This show's been going for quite a while.
Oh, that's
There've
true.
been like
Yeah.
2-year breaks
This-
sometimes.
The breaks between the seasons are long.
Mhm.
Good with Mother's Milk. Good with Frenchie. I can't wait to hear Kimiko talk way more next season. I hope she does at least.
It was nice to see Frenchie back to what the character really is in the comics, which is like they're kind of tech
That
specialist,
guy, yeah.
right? Like being able to like doing all their chemistry and stuff. Like that was cool to see, but we didn't really see it. It was just like, hey, Frenchie, did you do this thing? Are you done this thing yet? When is that thing going to be done? It was like,
It's
well,
like
at
when
least
you-
he's like,
It's like when you see Batman and you're like, he's the world's greatest detective, but he doesn't do any detective work.
yeah,
Yeah.
For sure.
like that.
Done with the boys. Let's get
Yeah.
to Butcher. Butcher and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Because they're sort of intertwined. What'd you guys think
What
of
was
this?
Kessinger?
Kessler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you
Yeah.
think of these two and their intertwined storyline? I did not expect him to be. I did not expect the angel and devil thing to happen.
Isn't this
Really?
what we always wanted from
I-
a TV show? Two
Huh.
gravelly voiced white bearded men like talking about
I
murdering people in Afghanistan?
as soon as I saw Becca pop up and then Kessler showed up, I immediately clocked Kessler was the devil on his shoulder. She's the
Yeah,
angel.
I didn't.
Kessler's the devil.
I thought he
can't
was there.
remember- I can't remember if somebody spoiled this for me or I picked up on it at some point.
Screen Crush from like day one was like, oh, it's gonna be Fight
Yeah.
Club.
Ah, damn.
See, I
I
can't watch
clocked
that.
it right away and immediately started watching. Does anybody acknowledge him when he's on screen?
Yeah.
And
I
after
didn't
like
think of-
one more episode, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So he's
That's
not
gotta
gonna be
suck
there.
for Jeffrey Dean Morgan because he's a great actor and
Mhm.
like he's sort of in scenes with other people, but he doesn't get to talk to them.
The Bruce Willis. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that reveal didn't feel like special. Like it could have been like such an oh shit. Maybe if I don't know, less perceptive viewers, because like when they finally interact and you're like, oh okay, didn't know that was gonna happen, but it didn't feel like
Mhm.
special.
Well, what do you think? Like, well, what else? Like, Butcher's dying, and he's sort of remorseful, and then we see him sort of tentacle monster out. Would like, there's a lot that he goes through this. Him trying to connect with Ryan, and just
I
connect
did
to-
love all those interactions with Ryan this
Yeah, it
season.
was-
And that's starting from like when he, in the hotel basement and that, when he goes down to, trying out everything he can to
Yeah.
not just kidnap him, drug him, throw him in a cage and that. He's
Yeah.
actually trying to connect to the
Just trying to
kid.
convince him, like
It
Yeah.
very much it was like a mirror image of like Homelander wants power, so Homelander is not worthy of power. Butcher tells Ryan, I'm not the right person to take care of you. And that makes him be like, well, you kind of are then, aren't you? Because
Yeah.
it shouldn't be fucking Homelander.
No.
And like even Ryan recognizes that because he starts hating being around Homelander. He starts liking being around Butcher more.
Yeah.
Like not Butcher being the asshole, just Butcher being like trying to be a good person, basically, which is obviously a struggle for him. But
Yeah.
like it endears him to Ryan. And you're like,
Yeah,
oh shit,
good.
maybe, and maybe that's what Huey sees in Butcher because the only person Butcher talks to about Lenny, right, his little brother that he cares so much about is Huey. So like there's only two people in the show that kind of see that side of Butcher. I guess
Mhm.
Mallory, but she doesn't count.
Not really. I mean, it's like it's been Huey, like that protective streak that he has in him,
Yeah.
and that we see it in his interaction with Huey. We see it in his interactions with Ryan for the most part, and like
Yeah.
with Homelander and Ryan, that whole thing. Like, I know I talked about like like earlier, Ryan and Homelander's very different upbringings, but at the same time, the first half of the season is him just pushing him to be a product in that. Just the way he kind of like in the same way he was. He was just a product to the corporation in that. That's why they ran all the tests on him and that. That's why they conditioned him because he was a product.
I do
and-
like I've heard a lot of people like conjecturing about whether what he does at the end by killing Krasis is he gonna come back next season in season 5 on more of like a Homelander side, or is he gonna be more in the Butcher's? And I'm like, isn't it not obvious that like what they stated earlier in the show when the one doctor said to Homelander, you could have left at any time,
Yes.
but you chose to stay
Yeah.
Mhm.
because you seek that approval. And then at the end, when they have Ryan in a facility and he realizes I have the opportunity to leave and he takes it.
Yeah.
And it's like he's showing that I am not Homelander. He is the exact opposite of him. So of course he's going to come back on the Butcher side of things next season. Maybe not Butcher side, but
I don't
on
know.
the side of good.
I think Ryan is the Treebeard of the thing where he's gonna be like, listen, hey man, everybody's trying to use me. So and he's powerful enough, he might not say it this way, but it's like you can be on your side or you can be on my side. And on my side is just me. Like Homelander's got all these sycophants and Butcher's got all these murderers. I'm just a kid. Like
I just got puppets.
Ryan represents genuinely like innocent people in a lot of sense, right? Like he doesn't deserve any of this stuff.
I almost wonder if there isn't going to be some point in season 5 where Ryan is killed and his death triggers both Homelander's anger and Butcher's anger for different reasons.
I could see in the comics, I could see them doing that. I don't think they'd kill a kid in this. Like have they killed any like kids in this series?
I mean, those
I
kids
wouldn't
in the
put it
Shining
past
Path.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not just killing a kid for kid's sake. I mean, if
I
all we
know.
know, they might time jump season 5. We come back and Ryan all of a sudden is like, 16, 17 years old. There's
Still a kid.
Yeah.
not by Stephen King standards.
Ugh.
Once you're 6, you're fair game.
Ew. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I have anything to add to this. I really like Butcher's storyline. I really like where he's going. I'm intrigued to where the living tumor storyline is gonna go next season.
Did everybody watch Diabolical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I do know the story behind it.
Well,
So I don't know that they're going to go that way, but it would be kind of neat if they did.
you never know.
And I still love all of Butcher's lines in the series. He watches the news on the TV in the hospital and that, and well, when Homelander outs Victoria Newman to the world as a soup and that, and he's like, well,
Yeah.
cunt's out of the bag now.
Well, let's talk about the new additions because we are getting long on this. There's Sister Sage and Firecracker.
Great.
What do you think of these
Sister
additions?
Sage.
And technically the new noir.
And
I
new
guess,
noir.
but- yeah.
I mean, we
Okay.
didn't even talk about what's his name, Aquaman.
The
Deep.
Listen,
yeah.
the Deep is not a serious or important character.
No.
Let's be
No.
fair.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
loved the direction they took with the new noir. I thought it was hilarious, except for how much it dragged Deep down and how much it was like it just made him and Deep cartoon characters this season.
Yeah.
Like,
Pretty much.
Fair.
Oh, fun fact: the actor who played him this season is actually narcoleptic, and that's why they
Yeah.
wrote that into the show.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. What do you think of Sister Sage?
Well, that was my favorite new addition to the boys.
so
that-
good.
The super,
Yeah.
like someone who's so intelligent that she really can't like kind of connect with anybody in that.
Like,
Because how do you connect with somebody when you're the smartest living mammal
Yeah.
on the
She's
planet?
like
to
Batman.
the point where it's I need you to drill something in my brain to make me dumb.
Yeah, just
so I
to
can
feel
just
dumb
handle
for a
being
little
around
while.
people.
That's like that's how she chills for the night. That's her Netflix
Yeah.
and chills is
Yeah.
lobotomizing, getting lobotomized.
That nod that she does with Victoria Newman at the party after she gets lobotomized is just
Oh
like,
my god. She's eating
Yeah.
the cake. Oh.
killed me. I was dying laughing when she did that.
But she,
She's such an interesting character. The fact that she had to like Hawk had told me previously, she had to factor in the narcissism of Homelander to get to that point. Like every single thing was planned out perfectly. And I how do you defeat someone who has contingency plans for everything? That's like when I don't understand how people can beat Batman because he does that too. Like,
Yeah.
I just
all the contingency plans he has for the Justice League, like how he can kill and defeat.
this is
every
why I'm
single
playing
one of
that
them should they
Suicide
turn.
Squad game. I want to know how you defeat Batman.
Well, I don't think the Suicide Squad is Batman's answer.
That's true. That's fair.
In that universe.
They're sort of the boys, aren't they? But
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
any other things on Sister Sage? I can't wait to see where she goes next year. She just
She did a great
won-
I
job.
can't wait. I want to see
Yeah.
phase 2. What is phase 2?
Yeah.
Susan
Yeah.
Hayward was her name.
Yeah, she was wonderful.
Mhm, mhm.
Awesome.
Firecracker.
Really, really, also really well done. The
Yeah.
actress, apparently, I saw it in an interview. She's a lesbian, and she loves the idea of playing someone who, like satirizing someone like that who's like so hateful and plays all that, which sounds weird that you would want to like depict someone who hates you, like those people exist in real life, and you want to depict one. But yeah, she was great. She it was really interesting seeing her make the choice she has to make, right? Where when she realizes that even soups are second-class citizens to Homelander,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she does all this stuff not out of love, but out of loyalty.
Yeah.
And then he still treats her like shit after. And,
The-
and
the
like,
move
how
on-
much of it? How much
Oh,
of that
you're
is she
coughing?
gonna eat?
Get
Like the
go
fact that
further.
he can't get sick, and he's like, it's like he's not gonna get sick. He's just disgusted by it.
As I showed Eric that clip and that it was back from Trump's administration and that when he ordered his chief of staff out of the room, Mick Mulvaney,
Because he was
He's like,
coughing.
if you're
I
gonna
mean-
cough, please leave the room.
Isn't that literally like probably an inspiration? I would imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like yes, that moment where she and Starlight have their thing and not after like she confronts her, but she's like she apologizes and she's like don't apologize because she wants to be a victim,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like isn't that the whole thing? Is like there's this entire group of people who so bad want to be a victim so they can persecute people.
Yeah.
And so that's her whole thing is like she wants to persecute people, but she wants to legitimize it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And under Homelander, she's allowed to do that, and that's probably going to be her undoing. But she plays it so well.
For sure. And it's crazy because the last time I saw her in something, she was in The Tick. and she was
Dude,
so
that Tick show was so good.
and she's such a change. Great actress.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of how to go into this because this season kicked up a fucking firestorm on the internet because of how politically charged this is. Well, and the show has never shied away from, its political leanings, right? But what did you think of how much more it got this season? I don't even know how to frame it other
It
than
was
saying
the little. It's the little things in that, like Victoria Newman at the party talking to the speaker and that Colson, I
Oh.
think. Yeah. Oh, and it's like that is just like that. There are guys who actually believe that.
Yeah.
No word of a lie,
Mhm.
and they push that.
Yep.
Like I said, it hit so close to home that it felt uncomfortable.
Like, I don't know if there's been a show. I mean, it's kind of ironic that it's on Amazon, but like, if there's been a show that's been able to just be this overt in its political, it's not even really. Is it satire at that point, or is it just commentary?
Like it's like satire is supposed to kind of mirror it and also turn it up on its head.
It would be
But-
satire if it was in any way funny, but it's at this point it's just like
It's
tragic.
commentary.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
In fact, they had to put a warning label on the finale, because what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's funny that people got offended this year. Like
Yeah.
it's not like they've ever.
There's been other shit to be offended about. We saw there was like a dude inside of another dude's dick.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like that's
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, they've never.
Herogasm. Like,
But this-
you want to
this-
be offended. That's what
but-
it's for.
But this season really touched upon the abuse of power. Like that was a really big
Yes.
theme this season.
Very much
like,
so.
and the consequences of this unchecked authority.
That and demagoguery, right?
Yeah.
It's like that thing of loyalty and just like how somebody is so powerful that they are just pretty much immune to consequence.
Mhm.
And the people who follow that blindly.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that from that party moving forward. The idea of political corruption was like just so overt, and it's just like there. Like we knew that last episode, like once Newman was out and once Robert Singer was out, we knew that Homelander was gonna pretty much take over the government.
Pretty much he is, and as like as they say, like the number one country in the world. But Homelander has established himself as emperor of the world at this point.
I wonder what the superheroes are like in the other countries. Like I would love to
They're
know.
the same.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
just in the comics. Like there's like an Alpha Flight. There's all that. There's Excalibur and all that stuff, and they're all the same.
terrible. They're
Because
all-
Herogasm is literally every superhero from around the world, right?
I totally
Because
forgot about
remember,
that.
like Love Sausage is Russian, so like they're all bad.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
we
love
haven't
that
even
was
seen. The show's never showed us. There's two big American superhero. We've kind of mentioned, they're like, oh, there's a team over here, but there's Payback, which is the boys' version of the Avengers,
Mhm.
which is what obviously Soldier Boy is on in the comics. So I'm wondering if we'll ever see them because the boys kill them all in the comics.
I
like,
mean,
early
it's
on.
hard to tell where they're gonna go next season. The team has been disbanded. Like, and Frenchie
Yeah.
seems to be working for the government. Like, with what's her name's powers? Like, she's just gonna be controlling it for. I don't remember her name.
the working theory that seems to be popping up a lot on the internet that I've seen is that it's they're going to end up in the same detention center that the kids from
Godalkin.
Gen V ended up in,
Which is
and
strange
that's going to be the new team.
because the Gen V kids are supposed to get out for next year when season 2 happens. So
Right. Yeah, but then they're theorizing that they're going to work them into the final season of The Boys as the new recruits of this anti-7.
that'd be interesting.
Hmm.
The Justice League.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of where we can go from here. This season
Home.
Home. I want to talk about how good visually this show is. Like the special effects and the prop work and the puppet work was so good this season. Like I like mad props.
I'll never look
everyone.
at a sheep the same way.
My God, that.
That was fantastic.
Mark, you look like
love-
you want to say something about those sheep.
Oh no, I love the sheep
I
thing.
love
I
the
love
whole
the
sequence.
cow, the sheep, like all of that shit was hilarious. I love it all. I also loved the web weaver being ripped in
Oh my
half.
God.
Oh yeah.
I forgot
I
about Web
fucking
Yeah,
Weaver.
she looked.
loved-
Yeah, Firecracker looked scared shitless there. She hadn't seen Homelander
Yeah.
be like that yet.
Everything with Web
that.
Weaver was
I
so...
love that. Like
It
just
happens
the
when I
way,
get
like where he
nervous.
grabbed him. Yeah. Just like it was so liquidy.
It was so
Abs-
liquidy.
Like
Oh.
just the comedy of that scene and that, like him probably detoxing at that time and just like shitting webs all over the place and that while being interrogated by Homelander.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I think we covered most of this. Where do you think this show's gonna go in the last season?
Oh, dude.
Wait. No,
The
wait.
what?
What did you think about seeing the Gen V kids? Like just the little glimpses of them. Was it neat?
I
seeing
like
them?
I like their inclusion
Yeah.
in that.
It was more interesting, I think, that we saw the telekinetic person from like season
Yeah.
2
Yeah. That was cool
Yes.
too.
come
Yeah.
back.
Oh, what was her name?
Not Magneto.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter.
doesn't
11.
Sydney.
Sydney Prescott.
Cindy.
Um,
Cindy.
Yeah. Anyway, look, where do you think the next season's gonna go? How's this gonna end? We have 2 years to theorize this.
Well, I mean, we got obviously Soldier Boy is going to be entering the fray, and I feel like we're going to see a reprisal of like Homelander trying to win over his father's approval ish kind of thing, and Soldier Boy just being like, "Fuck this guy," and like I think we're going to see a little bit more of that at some point. I feel like it's going to be like Soldier Boy, Homelander, and what's the name? Oh my
Butcher?
God. Butcher. Like I think it's going to be a 3-way, like rip each other apart until nobody's standing.
What if Soldier Boy gets loose and he's with Ryan? Because he
Ooh,
might see
grandson.
Ryan as like because Ryan's not a little piece of shit. So he
No.
might see
Yeah.
Ryan as like, well, you are technically my grandkid, and so he might. And after what happened with like when he was like, you're gonna fucking give all this shit up for this fucking kid at the end of season 3 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. That was actually a theory that I had because I think what's going to happen is Butcher's going to use the virus on Soldier Boy. He's going to use it on Soldier Boy to save Ryan, and they're finding a because one of the theories I saw online was that Huey still has the V from the previous season. They never showed it this season, but he still has that last dose.
The bit he gave the little bit he gave to his dad, like he has the rest.
No,
of
that
it?
was different. That was different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, A-Train
That was
got
the blue
thing.
stuff. That wasn't the V that from the.
Oh,
the
the
temp V.
temp V. He's still got the temp V.
So the theory that going around is that they're going to give the temp V to Maeve to to restore her powers to fight
Yeah,
Homelander.
because Maeve's the only one who can really take Homelander.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Or
see
at
her back.
least-
She's
or
great.
at least the theory at least is that she's going to come back and fight with them as part of like, the
I
Avengers.
could
basically.
fully see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to see also what Ashley's powers actually are.
I hope
want to see
they're
her like as
nothing.
abomination.
I hope she just turns into a mutant that's disfigured, like nothing else.
Yep, me too. 100%. I hope she's like a mutant that just can't do anything, but is like somehow just resistant to bullets. So she's just like sitting there getting hit by stuff and just nothing happening.
She
and just
can't
being
kill
like,
herself?
I
Oh
love
my
that.
god, but she's terrible.
Can't kill herself, can't do anything, and then kind of maybe even like stuck somewhere, like you're like I don't know, sloughed to the ground and just like can't actually move. I don't know, something like that would just be hysterical to me.
Mhm.
What if she
Ah.
becomes like a super huge threat? I mean, she spent like basically like 3 seasons in abject terror and that. What if she ends up being like
She's the one that takes out Homelander.
what if everybody's afraid of her?
So, I mean, if your powers reflect, because this wasn't the way it was in the comics, the Temp V just made people super strong and super tough.
Mhm.
But now it seems like their powers reflect their personality. Like Huey got like super speed and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
So what if her power is like she can instill fear in people?
Ooh, that's
Like
right.
she could make Homelander afraid.
Oh,
Because that makes so much sense given like what
That would be
happened
interesting.
with Butcher and that, because like basically that whole cancer becoming sentience, that was every bad instinct he had and about, like how to handle the soup situation and that focused into like, one living organism. So it makes sense that it would be the same thing for Ashley, right?
Plus, he
All-
watches all that hentai.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the last season too. With the Eric to piggyback on what you said earlier about like how do you stop someone like Sage who knows every contingency, and I'm so more than anything, I'm so excited to see her storyline, this phase 2 storyline, and how they stop her in season 5.
Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting that she talks about Caesar, right? Because
Yeah.
Rome burning.
Rome
would be-
fell,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would love that. I would love that to
But
be her plan.
and Caesar was murdered.
Yeah.
She know
Well-
and she's smart enough to know that, and she's also
Yeah.
too smart to know that it's like it doesn't matter. It's about doing it. It's about doing for her rather than like the long-term results. I think she just wants to see how far she can take this.
Yeah.
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 I think, as you guys know, in normal comics, especially Marvel comics, the way to defeat a super intelligent person is with a really dumb person like Deadpool. So,
So the Deep's gonna defeat her.
Oh
the
my
Deep will
God.
defeat her. You know what?
That would be
Probably.
amazing.
You know what? I mean,
Because
he's the only
he
one
knows-
that he's the one constantly doing the lobotomizing to her.
Mhm.
So.
Because even that little interaction with Noir, and Noir was like, lobotomy? So, like, she was just hooking up with Noir, but she had to lobotomize herself to hook up with the Deep.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
And
Oh.
he killed his lover for her.
And he doesn't have to
Like,
come
he
up
killed-
for air.
Yeah, he killed his lover to be with Sage, only to then find out the stuff about Noir and her.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, did
I'll-
anybody catch Tilda Swinton's voice as
Yes.
That's,
okay.
oh my God. That I was sitting there the first time. Ambrosia. Listening to her, I was like, she sounds so familiar. And I was looking at the credit, I was like, how did they get her? How did they get her for this show?
Just asked.
Man. But yeah, all in all, I'm really looking forward to it. I can't believe we're gonna have to wait 2 years, but it makes sense, especially with Gen V having to take some time to do their next season, and I'm sure that's gonna set up the final.
Yeah.
All in all, good season. You guys recommend?
Yeah. Recommend.
Oh, highly,
everybody
should
highly
watch
recommend.
this,
Yeah.
yes.
For
For
sure.
any issues I had, it's still a fantastic show, and it was still a great season.
For sure. For sure. Can't wait. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. We're gonna come back in maybe next week or maybe 2 weeks. So I want to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, we for sure are talking about.
I plan on seeing it Sunday if I can.
I'm seeing it this
Yeah.
Thursday. I'm gonna see how long I last for it. I've not seen anything since the first trailer, so I don't know what's out there, and I cannot
Same.
wait to see it.
I know that this is going to be one of those movies that's going to be like very, very heavily speculated and spoiled, so I have steered clear of
There
everything
is
for it.
so
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
trailers and clips that
Yeah.
just auto play
So-
places now that I'm just like, nope.
I
No,
will.
no.
I will assuage your fears. I have watched everything, and like all the other Marvel movies recently, everything they've shown is very early in the movie. Apparently, so
yeah, it's what they want you to see. you know?
exactly.
I have this horrible suspicion that just because it's a Deadpool movie, we're going to go in and Wolverine gets killed in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
That would be
I-
amazing.
I can
Ha-
see them doing it. I really could see them
No.
doing it.
If
not gonna
has
happen.
anybody looked at because the soundtrack is out? Has
No,
anybody looked
I
at the
saw.
soundtrack?
I saw that it
Now
came out.
it's
I'm not
not-
gonna look at it.
It's not the score, but it's got music. It's just like the music, like the music from the trailer and stuff like that. I forget what the song is, but like Madonna and stuff like that, right? And
Life
there's some
is
songs in there
a-
that when they clearly come up, you're gonna fucking laugh your ass off.
Oh,
Like,
I can't wait. I'm gonna
Yeah.
avoid it all, but I can't wait to talk to you guys. If you guys see it this week, we'll talk about it next week because that's something I want to talk about sooner rather
Hell
than
yeah.
later. I am going camping this weekend. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah,
just stream. Just bring your computer. With you.
stream in the stream.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll see you guys next week or 2 weeks. We'll talk about Wolverine and Deadpool next. Yeah. All right. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's it for us this week on Geeks with Kids. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.